The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
Good afternoon. It's a beautiful September 4th. Hopefully you all had a wonderful and lovely Labor Day weekend. This starts National Payroll Week. National Payroll Week celebrates the hard work by America's 156 million wage earners. I'm thinking that some of them work hard, not all of them, but probably a lot of them, but not all. Anyway, and the payroll professionals who pay them. Really. So this is kind of like combination earners and the office staff week. What a strange combination. Together through the payroll withholding system, they can contribute. I always like that word, your contribution. Collect taxes for the government and deposit approximately $1.7 trillion or 71% of the annual revenue of the U.S. Treasury. But, of course, not of the actual debt, which is about 50% more than that. But National Payroll Week it is. We didn't get to the Tech Insider through a comedy of errors on Friday night, so we're going to do some of the stories we did or normally do on Friday today, especially since it's kind of a comeback day. We're going to see a lot what the market's going to bring us. Normally after these three-day weekends, you get kind of a consensus in America for the way it's going to feel, and it shows up in the market. Had some bad news this morning. A couple of numbers came out that people didn't really like. Market sold off. We're at 1401 on the S&P, so we're off about 5 points. Volume actually a little stronger than we saw last week. Not unsurprising. A lot of the bigwigs are back from their Hampton homes for the summer, and they're going to actually start doing stuff. 1.8 billion shares today, at least stronger than it had been all last week at this time when we started the show. But still not huge, and we're probably looking at we saw a lot of 2.4, 2.5 billion shares days. This is going to be a little better, maybe 2.7, 2.8 billion share days, depending on how we close up. But not unsurprising, after the first hour of trading, volume went light again after the sell-off, and I suspect we're going to see a lot of volume late to the close, and then that'll be it. So don't think, we've got two things normally. After the last 2 or 3 days of the month, first 2 days of the trading month, we have an organic reason for buying, and that is that funds have to be fully invested. If you check any charter on any of these funds, most of them will say that it will be 100% invested. It is the job of the money manager to invest in hedge funds. The hedge and those, or just funds in general. Those funds are expected to be 100% invested. The money manager's job is to hedge that investment. So he may have options on the other side of that. If he doesn't know that that fund's going to behave in a specific way, he doesn't know how to hedge it. So a lot of these fund managers and then money managers are, of course, different people and wear different hats. But what you find out is that these fund managers actually have to be fully invested, and that is the last 3 days of the month to the first 2 days of the month. A lot of times if there's a lot of uncertainty, these fund managers will wait as long as they can. Normally, if they do, the price can roll off a little bit like it did this morning. I suspect that the height of fund buying will be sometime late this afternoon or tomorrow morning. As a lot of these guys were on vacation last week, weren't going to probably make any decisions till they came back and basically had a few meetings today. Went out, had one martini lunch, and then came back, and then maybe they'll buy something at the end of the day. Maybe they'll buy something tomorrow, but they'll have to get the stick in gear to be 100% invested. So not surprisingly, we're probably going to see a little bit of a jump we're going to probably get a lot of people going, well, we tested 13,000 on the Dow. Woo! Party hot's on. But probably not going to be much of that either. I don't think it's indicative of what we have until probably late tomorrow on Wednesday, or maybe even Thursday to Friday before we see the character of this market change. I can pretty much say from the numbers we're seeing, it's going to be very hard to be rabidly bullish. We're probably going to be seeing, of course, we did see the highest gas prices that we've seen ever over a Labor Day weekend. Part of that is the hurricane in the Gulf. Part of that is a conservative effort to force gasoline prices higher, kind of a weird conspiracy between the government or the current administration and the people in the energy sector themselves trying to keep prices high. But from the OPEC people in the Gulf currently stirring every Iran conspiracy theory and bomb theory and Israel theory that they can to keep prices higher, to basically having water levels on the Mississippi low, to shutting down refineries in New Orleans and even up all the way into Texas. We continue to see these events that are not going to last long, but probably going to last at least to the next 60 days before they bottom out. But we'll continue to look at the market here. But don't get too fired up thinking that we're going to have any kind of big movement in the next couple hours. I suspect if we do anything, it will be closed probably flat or maybe a little higher. Probably see some good news and buying in the morning, and we'll see how it plays out. I suspect if you were looking for a good place to short, we're probably looking until tomorrow sometime, maybe late in the day. I would love to see the VIX once again come back down to about the 15s, 14 area, and have the early short set here squeezed out one more time and see vapor-thin volumes, and even less than we have right now, and might be a perfect setup to actually start buying options. I've been watching the market very hard. Normally when you get these super light volatility times in the market, the VIX and option premiums fall drastically, and absolute great time to start buying options. Normally you get about maybe 2 times a year that you can buy them naked, at least on one side, not physically naked, but buy them just a put or a call straight without hedging your positions, and get a lot of bang for your buck and keep your risk low. Anyway, it is September 4th. We've got a ton of news coming in technology this week. In the Tech Insider the week before last, we talked a little bit about a company and technology that is a bloodless test for diabetes. It is one of the first medical uses for graphene, but that was kind of it, and water-resistant touch displays. But pretty neat that you don't have to prick your finger, or won't have to prick your finger very much longer. You could get basically your sugar levels from tear ducts or from saliva, a lot of other non-pricking your finger kind of ways. Make life just a little bit better for those diabetics. On Friday I covered a new company that is introducing new DNA sequencing techniques. The first time we, I don't know if it was a country so much as a world, tried to do it. It cost just about the same as it cost to send the man to the moon. And I think it started in '98 and actually wasn't truly finished to 2007. Company's got a new technology to kind of gang source this stuff and bring an entire human genome, which is like 6.5 billion, something like that. DNA pairs, or actually 3.2 billion DNA pairs, down to about 15 minutes. So you can always get a copy of my Tech Insider by signing up and getting a 2-week free test drive of it. Before we get into some more technology, I wanted to show this chart. If you don't see it or just listening to the audio, you can go to Tiger TV later and take a look at this. This is the historical monthly stock performance chart since 1915. And what it shows is that historically September is far and away the weakest month for stocks, and this is over a great deal of time. Why is that? Normally fund managers have to send out statements, and at this point they're getting rid of their dogs, which even pushes them further lower, pushing the market in general lower. But there's a fairly decent correlation between September and the worst months ever. Of course, we had 9/11 in there that helped out a little bit. But even if you take it out, I think it's still like 0.85% bias over those years down, even if you throw out the outliers. So continues to be a month that you really have to worry about. Back to technology, a team of security researchers were able to deduce the digits of PIN numbers from credit cards and debt cards, the month of someone's birth, the areas of residence, and other personal information by presenting 30 headset-wearing subjects with images of ATMs, debt cards, map, people, and random numbers in a series of experiments. So maybe the mentalist is out of a job, but we're getting fairly far. These things are called brain-computer interfaces, really coming along very fast. This new paper released used the emotive systems brain interface, computer interface. Kind of a neat little device, but you don't have to have holes drilled in your head or anything like that. But kind of interesting that they maybe not have to be hitting you with the rubber hose anymore. Maybe all those science fiction movies of being able to figure out what you're talking about are not that far away. Other things out there, leaks and more leaks. There are going to be a ton of products released this week or leaked this week. First one is the Kindle Fire 2. Got a picture of it if you're watching on Tiger TV. In the den, you're, of course, always going to be limited a little bit by the color constraints of it. The bezel on the new Kindle Fire is a little bit wider, sloping sides, kind of more like the Zoom. It also sits nicely in hand. Probably the neatest thing about this thing is they have a white paper technology, kind of like the very inexpensive original Kindles, kind of that silvery-like display. 8 weeks of battery life if you're just reading things like PDF or books. So very high battery life with that. We'll be back in a minute, get in a little bit more technology. I'm not thinking this Kindle Fire goes very far, though.
Walter's exciting newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, has just launched, and now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial. Every Wednesday afternoon, Kate sends out her weekly newsletter to her subscribers where she focuses on small cap stocks with market caps under $2 billion, as well as low-priced equities with share prices ranging from $5 to $12. Kate tracks a variety of stocks with a combination of strong technical support and solid fundamentals. Many of the stocks featured will be recent IPOs. These newer issues are often some of the biggest price gainers in the market and provide an excellent opportunity for substantial gains if timed correctly. You can catch Kate Stalter live on Tiger TV with her small cap roundup every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and visit TFNN.com right now to get your 2-week free trial to her brand new newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, while locking in the low introductory monthly rate of only $37.50 per month, almost a 50% discount. Act now.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, Kate Stalter, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Carol Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Millionaires are made every day. The fact is, living your dreams is possible. Someone, somewhere is going to get rich. My recommendation is, let that be you. Each day, someone is making the decision to better themselves and creating a plan to fulfill their financial dreams. Let that be you. The key to turning dreams into reality is to take massive action. Let that be you. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Master Show with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN, and I can help you with your journey to great wealth. I'll show you how to create the ultimate financial edge, a set of tools, insights, and strategies that are part of my daily newsletter service, Mastering Probability. You'll have direct access to me by phone, email, and my private library of trading and investing secrets for 30 days with an unconditional money-back guarantee. I'll take your trading to the next level. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage at TFNN.com and turn your dreams into reality. Mastering Probability, folks. Let that be you.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we continue on, if you're watching on Tiger TV, hopefully you are. If not, you can always come back later and catch the archive of this show. But I snagged some pre-released photos of the iPhone 5 versus the iPhone 4. If you are watching it, it's just maybe half-inch longer. It's a little bit more rectangular these days. Why it's about the same width, it's actually got a screen that's slightly wider. There was a border on the old one that was kind of like a quarter of an inch. This one is supposed to go almost all the way to the edge, so it's going to be a little bit bigger. Camera lens is just a little bit smaller, and it's going to be kind of interesting to see what they have in it. Pretty much the rumors that I suspect are going to be correct is that it's not going to have an independent NFC chips in it. If it has NFC, it's going to be part of either a Broadcom chipset that's already in there or a Qualcomm chipset that's in there. So probably not going to be able to get one of those little companies to really double overnight on any news on this new iPhone. Although I'm going to continue to watch for the first person that rips this thing apart and finds out every component in it. Pretty much every time that's happened, we've seen those stocks run. But not a whole lot to say other than that, and it's going to have the new ARM I think a SX6 chip in it. Should be a little bit faster out there for those people using iPhones. Got a invitation for a product rollout on the 12th of September, so that's now confirmed from Apple. And of course, rollout dates, they're telling at least Verizon, Sprint, and AT&T employees at these kiosks for phones that they will not be able to get the 21st through the 30th off. So look for that as the day that these things actually start shipping. If you're looking at this picture, hopefully you can see it. Got a combination of the iPhone 3, 4, and 5. It's just, one more time, just a little bit narrower. But you can see, how, especially compared to the iPhone 4, just how tall it is. But these things are starting to leak out. I would not be surprised to see some of the stuff going on. It's got a new chip in it that's in some phones, not in all of them, that basically tells it your phone number and all that stuff. This chip is now going to be much smaller, helping to shrink some room in the phone. But these little chips have already, called SIM chips for those in the know. The SIM chips have already hit in Germany, and the programmers are starting to show up in Germany. So we could probably only figure out that maybe we're a day away or two from some of these devices actually showing up and seeing them out there in the wild. Every time before we've had one lost in a bar, iPhone 3, 4, and 4S, so I can only assume that the iPhone 5 will be too. We were talking about just the huge deluge from about Thursday on last week of leaks. The Lumina 920 is a pure, what they call pure view, kind of the equivalent of the Retina display. Everybody is going gaga over at least not the phones, but certainly the displays. Super high pixel organic LED and long battery lifespans on these displays. But pretty well-designed phone, actually, from Nokia. And, you know, they're getting very tight with Microsoft, so we'll have to see what happens. But the people that have seen these already are giving them fairly decent and rave reviews, at least for the design, if not the software underneath it. One of the new features is going to be, and I'm wondering if this is going to actually be in the iPhone 5 now. We've talked about it, and that is not having to plug your phone in to get it recharged, just laying it on a pad. This is part of the QI system, QI, and at least for Nokia, they've adopted the Energizer standard, which I think is QI, and so a lot of this is going to be technology that they actually have. Interesting question in the den. Why do you feel need to go gaga over another iteration? Yeah, I guess probably don't. I'm just thinking this is an actual huge amount of technology coming out at once. But we are going to see a new feature, few new features. But some of these things are going to be interesting, especially not having to try to wiggle that little micro USB port in and just being able to lay it over a little pad and hook it up to your computer or anything else without actually plugging anything in. Be nice.
Tom O'Brien's daily trading newsletter, Market Insights, has delivered powerful results for subscribers, and now is the perfect time to try it out for 2 weeks absolutely free. We're so confident in the value Tom provides his subscribers in his daily newsletter that through Labor Day weekend only, when you sign up for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights, we'll send you a free copy of Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, completely free of charge. Will even cover the shipping cost. Cancel at any time during your 2-week free free trial to Market Insights and pay nothing, and keep Tom's free book as a gift from us. This offer is only valid for new subscribers. We've only extended this offer once before, and it will only be active for a short period of 2 weeks. So act now to take advantage of this great offer and be ready to capitalize on a more active, more volatile market once traders return from their August vacations. All the details are on the front page of TFNN.com. Sign up for your free trial to get your free copy of Tom's best-selling book today. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes that a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Certified Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, we're going to try to finish up some technology stuff that we probably should have got to Friday and get into a few charts before the end of the day. But we're going to have a ton of technology news over the next probably to the end of September. Samsung's going to launch a new tablet called the Ative. It's a 10.1-inch Windows RT tablet. These things are actually starting to get out into the wild. People have started to play with them. I like the Microsoft one because of the integral keyboard and mouse pad that they're going to have to run traditional software out of it. But some of these tablets are going to be very cool. The reason I like the Microsoft tablets are mostly games. Actually, last Friday, NVIDIA demonstrated the new Unreal Engine 3 flagship demo known as Epic Citadel on a Windows RT tablet powered by Tegra. And there's some nice videos out there on the web showing just how really fast and powerful tablets can be once they're hooked up to the Unreal Engine. If anybody remembers the original games, game engines, especially 3D engines, are something that take huge amounts of effort to get right. The interesting part of this is that by unveiling a Unreal Engine for RT tablets and Microsoft, what they're going to be able to do is, with very, if almost no effort, be able to take a huge sea of games and make them run on Microsoft tablets. When you think of, especially if you wrote a game for Xbox 360, how easy it's going to be to move this thing to a tablet in comparison to driving and writing a brand new game to write on maybe on either of the other platforms. Again, it's always neat to see graphics and high-speed stuff and games, but the games have kind of lacked something on the other tablets, even the Apple tablets and some of the other ones. Not so much just the chips inside, but the ability to get all that legacy software easily moved over, especially if you wrote a game about 3 years ago. You're probably looking at the same kind of processing power, at least in the chipset for the graphics, that these RT tablets are going to have. This is going to make it very easy for Microsoft to have software that will run anywhere from the phone all the way up to a desktop, basically with the same software driving it, or at least the same programmer writing the same software across all kinds of different devices. But if you looked at this video, you'd be really surprised how well some of these tablets work. If you've used them before, you think of them as kind of just big smartphones, because most of them, the graphics aren't that great. But this is a real interesting games that they're playing on these things that are fairly interactive. Of course, a little bit of modifications to handle maybe no mouse or keyboard, but a lot of games are going to easily adapt to this technology. Court in Tokyo ruled that Samsung Electronics did not infringe on the patent relating to transferring media content between devices. I suspect we're going to continue to see these battles for patents fought from island to island and from country to country. But some of these, like in Tokyo, have been totally dismissed, and it looks like Apple's going to eat up paying for Samsung's lawyers, at least in some of these. I suspect that when it gets all done, either these wars, at least in the United States, are going to kind of take 10 years, or eventually it's all going to be just thrown out. But this one is Apple patents related to synchronizing music and video data between devices and servers. But glad that one got tossed out. We all remember Star Trek, and from the early days, their tricorders, they'd pointed at somebody, were able to actually find out exactly what was wrong. You know, his heart's bad, or he's got some broken ribs, and point a device at it. There is a device that can tell you a lot without being too invasive. It's called a flow cytometer, and offers diagnostics in about 10 minutes of everything from infections to stress, blood cells, cancer markers. They all so can identify bacterial pathogens in food or water. This is going up to the International Space Station. This thing's about if you're looking at it, it's about the size of a toaster. But we are kind of making moves onto that. We talked, I think, last Tuesday about an air-powered car from Tata Motors. That's just going to be basically that, a couple of compressed cylinders of air driving you around, and there is a picture of it out now. Kind of interesting. Almost reminds me of the little pod in 2001, A Space Odyssey. I mean, it's really kind of close, but you can't really, if you're not seeing it, can't really see the front wheels. I'm wondering if they look like little casters on the front of a shopping cart or something. They're kind of tucked up underneath the front. But the light, from the lights and everything, I think someone watched a little bit too much 2001: A Space Odyssey. Yeah, what's it like on potholes? I don't know what the potholes are like in India. Probably suck in the whole car. But very interesting. Will include a compressor, so you can plug it in and it will compress up the air. But talking around about 100 miles, and especially if you're in a big city like any of the ones in India, you're not going very far, because there's a couple of billion people that have the same idea as you. Probably the interesting thing is the very low maintenance and very low initial cost of this. But kind of a little bizarre. I'd almost like to get this just to drive it around town. I bet you get a lot of eyeballs. But kind of interesting. Lastly, Workaday has filed for its IPO. This is the two gentlemen from, I think, the CFO and CEO of PeopleSoft. This was one of those things that comes right out of a movie where JR forces Bobby out of the corporation. In this case, it was the CEO of Oracle forcing out Dave Duffield, the CEO, years ago, and actually getting a fairly decent amount of money for the company. But Oracle ate up PeopleSoft, and he's coming back. This company is going to be kind of like Paychex, but at the same time, it's going to be a cloud technology. So instead of sending all your stuff and having Paychex do it, it's going to set up the software to let your employees actually enter a lot of the data, and it'll send you all the stuff back, but they'll make sure that all the software is there for your company and it's set up correctly, and your employees just become data entry experts, and you let the Jedis at their company make sure everything is working great in the back office, but just setting it up. Anyway, Workaday is going to try to raise about $400 million in an IPO. This guy's had a fairly decent track record. Even if he found himself at the wrong end of the of a battle in the corporate boardroom, I think he's going to do fairly well. Company seems to be doing well. Earnings and revenues are starting to build. This may be one of the nice companies to come out of the cloud computing industry, in that they, one, are a cloud, and two, are in a great part of the business, which is just taking care of bookkeeping and human resources, payroll, finances. Going to be kind of interesting. But Workaday, look for them to go public, I suspect, in about 60 days. Anyway, we're going to get to some other stocks here fairly quick. We've got about 7 minutes in this segment. If you could, give me a call, 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. We'll discuss the stocks that you want to. Trying to get into a few of the ones that we're looking at. I've been watching. Market's been fairly close in here on the day. What are we at here? Yeah, it's. I didn't think we were going to have much of a sell-off today. Still think that we're going to have one more pop. If that's right, we've got the VIX off a little. This thing is still up rather high for what we are experiencing. Some of that is the rollover on the day that we weren't open yesterday. But I suspect this thing's probably going to quickly drop back down to around 15. And I think that may be the time that you want to be looking at puts in the marketplace if we don't see any breakout with volume. We're at 2.1 billion shares with 15 minutes left to go in the day. So, yeah, 2.6 billion, 2.7 billion share day. Probably not too far from what we're looking at. But the old saying is, a watch pot doesn't boil. I am bearish. But I think you need to wait for the whites of their eyes to be pulling the triggers here, at least if you're looking at the stock market. I wanted to look at Amazon because it seemed to be one of the few that was up at these highs, and see if we get any kind of indication out of it today. Right now, we've had about 3 days of dojis, might even call it 4. As we continue to have wider price range swings in this, but it is right at the previous highs and been trying to go higher without the kind of volume that you need. We continue to look at the September 19th $244 level at 8.2 billion or million shares, excuse me, and our highest so far has been, I think, 3.6 million. Make sure, yeah, 3.3 million, yeah, 3.6 billion. So, it's going to continue to be We had 3.7 billion as we kind of got to that high on the 24th of August, but continues to be a little bit weaker than we would like. Also interesting to see the gold stocks maybe off the bottom a little bit. But what I dislike on Anglo Gold is a higher volume low from Friday. It was and could be considered somewhat of a reversal. I don't like any of these high volume reversal days. You like to see these things come in on lighter volume and pretty much be it. I think you're going to need at least one more test down around $30.70, and I like to see 1 million shares and start looking maybe at other gold stocks. This is one of the weaker ones. If we look at Royal Gold, of course, it's pretty much now finally finished filling the gap. That gap happened on huge volume back on the March 22nd. When you look at that with 3.8 million shares that day, it's finally come back, filled that gap up, and of course we've got gold prices pushing as high as we can. Gold market's going to be closed. So what do we have? Right at 1,700 on the Z2 contract, up about $12.60. I'm suspecting we might find a lot of fireworks in the next couple of days in a lot of these marketplaces if this market actually decides to start pulling back. I'm not a big believer in gold here. I think that there's long or short, I think there's probably a lot better opportunities in a lot of other avenues. But if I was leaving or leaning one way, I'd probably think about maybe looking for some kind of surprise in gold and seeing it probably drop $50 or maybe even more in one day. Just looks awful thin to me, especially when you start looking at these gold stocks and not seeing the kind of money coming into these that you think you would if gold was going to what I hear now, 3,000, 3,500, and just a huge amount of ads over the weekend of prognosticating huge dollar moves in that. Let's see if we got anything. Had a question out here. Why is ARMS holding slammed? I think I covered that a little bit last week. There may be additional news. I'll try to get into that. ARMH, I think is the symbol. ARMS Holdings. Let's see if I can find the news. I didn't like it much. We were talking about Intel last week, but I didn't like ARMS Holdings or AMD for the same reason. Cloudy market stuff. Analyst cuts ratings. Drops in bond used to feared by peers. Okay, yeah, it's pretty much that. Analyst is saying basically what I was saying in the they kind of, here's the article, dropped a stink bomb on the mobile industry and a slowdown in the mobile industry to fuel the fire, and that ARMS Holdings to sell from overvalued on fears that Intel is threatening its turf. I think I talked at length last week about Intel's ability to build 22 nanometer and soon 14 nanometer chips, and if you can't do that, there's no way you can get the kind of battery life that Intel will be, and it's just a manufacturing, not a design issue. We talked about the companies that actually build these chips, and Taiwan Semiconductor and Global Foundries just not being able to build anything at the level that Intel has. Intel is at least a generation, if not a generation, ahead of these companies, and I think the analyst basically said exactly what I was looking out there. Is doesn't matter how good your design is if you can't build these things at a very small size to get the kind of battery life and speed you want. We will be right back.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market, something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Time is the great equalizer of all mankind. Time doesn't care about winners or losers, who succeeds or fails. Time only cares that you played the game. Question: are you playing the money game? Is your money working as hard for you as you are for it? I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, a daily trading and investment newsletter service, and we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary. In year 1, we generated a 30% profit. Plus, I provided 26 hours of live coaching to my clients. My daily newsletter service is available by 8 a.m. each day and covers the stock, futures, currency, and commodity markets, along with all the current patterns that you can trade. Each newsletter is packed with education, and it's yours for as little as $3 per day. And for the next 30 days, you can try it risk-free. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage of TFNN.com and begin your journey to great wealth today. If you're waiting for a better tomorrow, remember this: today's tomorrow will soon be yesterday, and your clock is ticking. Mastering Probability. Now is your time.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Well, if you're joining us late, I talked a little bit about fund buying, and I think we're probably getting very close to shorting this market. At least I am in the newsletter, but probably looking for another day. The fund buying is the last 2 or 3 days of the month, the first 2 days of the next month, and it pretty much comes along. And of course, if you know you've got people that have to buy, there's nothing like moving the stock market up, or at least holding it up, so you can sell whatever you want to into it. We've got a little bit of that. I suspect one more day of that into tomorrow, and you're going to get all those boys from the Hamptons that came back dumping their money. Another one I wanted to look at here before the end of the day was Whole Foods Markets. It's hanging right up here at the highs, but on light volume. Was hoping to get a better signal than this today. But another one that of the high flyers out here that had done nothing but go up, even after kind of a hard move down to $81.55. We hit that low on July 23rd. It's gotten back up as high as $89.47. We've been going kind of sideways out here. That gap is just slightly, the gap back up was just slightly less than the gap down. I suspect we could come back and fill this gap back into the 84s one more time, especially when we see the long-term future of maybe food prices going up even higher. I don't have a Whole Foods here that I know of, but I do have a friend in California that has Trader Jack's, I think it's Trader Jack's and Whole Foods. He says he can always go in and buy the exact same thing at Trader Jack's for half the price of Whole Foods. So maybe that's going to be Trader Joe's. Yep, thank you, in the den. But we're supposed to get a Trader Joe's down here. I've never been in one of those either, but going to be interesting. Anyway, Whole Foods Markets. Thinking that maybe the specialty companies for high-dollar food may have big problems, especially high-dollar meats. Some of these other things might finally get so expensive, especially next spring. Right now, probably doing fairly well on a lot of beef being slaughtered so that you won't have to feed it with a very expensive feed coming this way after the debacle with corn this summer and the drought. But I'm watching this one also. It's going to be very interesting to see if we can get any kind of volume. The last volume we did see, it was out of this bottom. But, when we compare the last major highs out here on June 26th, where we got as high as 3.5 million shares into that high, we've now gone sideways now for a number of days. And what's the biggest day out there? 1.1 billion shares? Or 1.1 million shares. Just, I hate to see these things come up very light in volume, especially in fund buying, where we should see a lot of people, if they're going to be pushing this forward, a lot of funds putting that kind of volume into these stocks right now. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to look at before the end of the day. VNQ, WWW, IYR. We continue to see the real estate market also doing a kind of a similar pattern out here. Just a slow drift back up into the market here. We'll see what we have in the real estate index fund. No volume in it either. After we've got two highs, I'm thinking we get one more. And if that's on lighter volume, that may be it. July 17th, we saw a high at $66.21, 7.5 million shares. We got into that August 6th on 6.1 million shares. About a dime light on that. May be seeing this tomorrow at the end of fund buying. Going to be watching those real estate stocks and at least the real estate index funds, which is the IYR. Anyway, you all have a great, safe, and wonderful evening.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil's subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to check out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, Then visit the front page of TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern on TFNN.